Hey everyone, welcome back to another video of mine. So today I decided to do another sit down video in front of my bookshelf and kind of my desk. I kind of like positioned this a little bit differently so I didn't have like the glare from the window, and I kind of like this better, but it is very gloomy today. It was a lot sunnier earlier today, and then I get off of work and it's like gloomy. Of course it would. So I turned on those lights. I have lights right there, and I plan on having lights on my bookshelf. So anyway, a little off topic there, but if you're new to my channel, hi, hello. Thank you for stumbling across my channel or just stumbling across this video. My name is Haley, and I literally make videos of like basically mostly more like with K-pop, but I literally post like whatever. I'm making this video because I really won't have anything for this week, and I've been doing pretty good uploading like every Friday, and I kind of want to like keep up with that. So I decided, why not make a video about all the groups that I stan and like what I collect for those groups, like with album wise and PC wise. So I thought, why not like kind of for you guys to get to know me a little bit better when it comes to K-pop. So yeah, you can already see some albums of who I collect for album wise and stuff like that. So anyway, I have a list on my phone. Before I get on with this video, I do want to put a little disclaimer that like the way I stan and collect for albums or PCs probably won't make sense for a lot of people, or some of you guys might not like it. I have a different way of doing it, just like how everyone has a different way of standing and collecting anything from any groups, and that is okay. I do lean more towards boy groups than girl groups for sure. You will for sure notice that. I did get into K-pop in 2020. Honestly, I want to say I got into K-pop like December 2019 because I saw Monsta X at the KDWB Jingle Ball, and then I kind of like was like, I love their music, and so I was just like keeping up with them. And then when I found out about their like English album release, I was like, ooh. But I think when I really got into K-pop, I want to say like probably like January or like February, getting into more of like listening to Monsta X's like Korean albums and like more of their discography, and then like slowly listening to other groups. Literally the first good half of 2020, it was just Monsta X and BTS of who I listened to for K-pop. But I think when I really got into K-pop was in May of 2020. That's when I bought my first actually K-pop album. Yes, I bought Monsta X's English album, but that was an English album. But for an actual Korean like album, like I bought like in May of 2020 when I started buying albums, and then it just went downhill from there. It really just, and I just like, the first time ever buying an album, I was just like, oh my god, like the feeling that I got, I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, I need to buy more. So that's how that went. I'm slowly like getting into more groups. Like the groups that I stan, there isn't like, it's not a big list. Eventually like I want to like listen to more, like I'm eventually getting there. Just been so focused on certain groups right now that it's I haven't really thought about like just listening to other group music or getting into or getting to kind of know like the members or something of like a different group. So anyway, let's just get onto this video. So yeah, these are all the like soloists and groups I stan, and like my biases and like what I collect for albums and PCs. So we're gonna start with soloists. For the first soloist that I listened to Baekhyun. I do know that he's an EXO and I think Super M, but I just listened to his solo music. I have not listened to EXO or Super M at all. I have not gotten into them. Maybe eventually like I will, but otherwise I have not. So I just listened to Baekhyun's solo music, and I think his solo music is so good. I know Candy came out like last year, but Candy is just so good, and Bambi too. I don't collect any of his albums. I do eventually want to get his albums. Right now I just have not. I just like listen to him digitally. Another soloist I listen to is Bobby from iKON. Oh my god, I love his music so much. Like literally the type of music that, because he's obviously a rapper, so I listen to more of that. Like for Western artists, I like rap music, but like not really. I don't know, I can't really explain it. I like K-pop rap, like I don't know, it's just different. So Bobby, I love his solo music. I don't have any of his albums. I do want to get Lucky Man. That's the only album that I really want. I don't care about his like older albums. Like I really want Lucky Man. It is so good. Another artist, solo artist I stand is Eric Nam. I hope I said his last name right. I have no albums. His albums are so hard to find. I don't think they don't really make a lot of copies of his, but I would love to have his like albums. His albums are so good, and I'm actually seeing him on tour. He's coming on tour in like February of 2022, so I did get a ticket to a show in Minneapolis, so I will be seeing him on tour, and I'm so excited. He is so good. Oh, another soloist is Sungwoo from Victon. Oh my god, I love his solo music. I have his second mini album. I do collect his albums. I still need to get his first mini album, but I have not gotten to it yet, but I eventually will. But I do have his second mini album. I don't know, his music is so good. And then my last solo artist that I listen to is 1O. I support Monsta X OT7 all the way. I will support any of the members, including 1O. I like, granted he's not part of the group, I still see him as Monsta X. It just makes sense in my brain, okay? It just makes sense in my brain, okay? So I love his music. I am a little behind. I still need to get his second mini album. I have not gotten that yet. So, and I don't collect any Photocards. With all the other groups, all the other solo artists I've named, I do collect, well, do I really collect Sungwoo's Photocards for his solo albums? I plan on to. I have it all set up in my binder. I just have not really looked. I don't feel no rush to get his Photocards and finish that his collections. Like I have time, like he is in the military, I have time, like there's no rush. So like I do collect Sungwoo's, but it is a very slow collection of collecting his cards. 1O, I did keep his Photocards, but I'm actually selling them because I just don't feel the need. I need them, or like to have them. Someone else can have those cards. So I don't collect 1O, and I don't collect any of the other soloists I mentioned. Okay, so onto girl groups. Like I said, I'm more of a boy group stan or fan. I prefer boy groups over girl groups, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not weird, okay? I think I said this in another video, and I had a comment and someone was like, that is so weird, you're a girl, I should be liking more girl groups, I should listen to more girl groups. Like that's just weird that I don't like support girl groups or something like that. It's just like, one, it's not that deep, and two, I don't know, I just prefer the boy groups over girl groups. I can't, like, how do I even explain it? I don't really know how to explain it. Like listening to girl group music, and it's not all girl groups, okay? Obviously some girl group music is different, but like to me, every time when I hear girl group music, it's just like rainbows and sunshines, and like obviously it's not like that. Like that's how I can really explain, okay? Like rainbows and sunshines and unicorns, obviously those are not lyrics in the songs, but like the vibe of like those. And it's just like, I don't listen to that type of music in general for Western artists, or like just pop music in general. Like that's not really the type of music I listen to. It literally is not. So so it's not weird that me being a girl don't listen to girl groups like that. There's nothing really weird with that. Like, is it weird that a guy who loves K-pop and just stands girl groups, is that weird? And some of you guys will probably think, no, that's not. So then why is it weird like a girl only stand boy groups? You know, there are guys that only stand girl groups, but that's not weird. But when a girl stands a boy group, only boy groups, it is weird or something. It is not. Like, it is okay. I mean, eventually I want to try to like expand to listening to different artists for like girl groups, but it's just really hard for me to like get into the songs and to, yeah, I don't know, I can't really explain it. It's just really hard. But there are some girl groups that I do listen to. The first on the list is Blackpink. I love their music. I like the style of their music. They're like the genre of music. well, it's just K-pop, but like just like how their music is, I love that. That's the type of music I like, and I can actually get into Blackpink's music, and I know a lot of girl groups aren't like that. For Blackpink, I do collect albums, but obviously since I got into K-pop, the only album Blackpink has had was the album. So yeah, and I collect and I have Rosé's first single album, and I plan on getting Lisa's first single album. So yeah, that's how I with Blackpink, but I don't collect any Photocards for Blackpink at all. Pixie, I just recently got into them, and I really like the music. I actually want to get their albums. Pixie is actually really good, but if I do get their albums, most likely I'm not going to collect any Photocards. I think for girl groups, I'm not going to collect any Photocards for girl groups, to be quite honest. Purple Kiss, I do have their first mini album. Their second mini album, I have not listened to that yet. I know I'm a little behind, so, but otherwise I do stand Purple Kiss, but I don't collect Photocards for them. There is a group called Rolling Quartz, and they're a rock group. Oh, they are so good. I don't know if they have any solo album, like I don't know if they have any albums, I don't know, but I do listen to their music, even though they're not K-pop, but they're a rock band or something. Yeah, they're a rock band. I love their music. Like I like that type of music too. Like I love like rock, well, punk rock, stuff like that. So, and then the last girl group that I have also been really enjoying is Stacy. I actually want to get their albums, but I don't want to collect any Photocards. As for biases in any of these groups, for Blackpink, Rosé is my bias. For everyone else, I have not really gotten into the members for like Pixie, Purple Kiss, and Stacy, so I have no biases in that group, and that could change. Now on to the boy groups, and this list will be a little bit longer. This is all in alphabetical order. So we have Ace. My bias in Ace is Wow, that's his stage name. I do collect their albums, but I'm kind of behind on albums for collecting. I still need their I think the repackage and then their recent comeback. So, and I don't collect any Photocards for them. Ateez. If anyone knows, Ateez is my alt of alts. Like they are number one. I bias OT8, but my alt, okay, this does not make sense. In my brain it makes sense, but I bias Ateez like OT8, like the whole group, but there's only one member, which is Sungwa. Like I will collect for like random cards like pops or something like that, and I see Sungwa as my like alt bias. So yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense, but yes, Ateez is my alt group, and I stan OT8, and Sungwa is my alt bias, but I bias the whole group, so I don't know, it does not make sense. In my brain it makes sense, but for you guys trying to explain it, it does not make sense at all. So another group I listen to is Bay 173. Their second mini album is so good compared to their first mini album. I don't collect any of their albums. I don't collect in their PCs. I'm just a casual fan of theirs who listens to their music, and that's pretty much it. BTS, and for the longest time for BTS, I thought BTS was going to be an alt, but it just, no, like no. I love BTS a lot, and they maybe down the line they could really be alt, but it's really hard because one, collecting BTS is so expensive. Like collecting BTS is so expensive, but I love BTS's music. I mean, it was Monsta X and BTS when I first got into K-pop, and I love BTS's music. I do collect their albums, and PC wise, I just keep who I pull. Granted, I want to start trying to trade for Jimin, because Jimin is my bias in BTS. Honestly, to be quite honest, when I got into BTS, my bias changed every like week. Like it was like Yoongi first, and then it was RM, and then it was like J-Hope, and then it was like V, and then it was Jin, and then Jungkook, and then it was Jimin, and now it's just Jimin. But honestly, if I could, I would love to collect OT7 for BTS, but their cards are so expensive. So yeah, collecting OT7 for BTS would not be it's just not right now, like not for me right now. But I would love to collect OT7 for BTS, because like it's really hard for me to have one bias. But like kind of like it's just like with Ateez, like I honestly, I probably to be honest, I bias the whole group because like I said, I just will keep whoever I pull, but Jimin is like an alt bias. Yeah, I think Jimin is an alt bias. Wow, this is making me think while I'm filming this. And then the next group I stan is called Gravity. Gravity, I have been standing them since they debut because I do collect photo cards for them too. I collect Alan, Hyunjin, and Sungmin, and then if there's a full OT9 set, I will collect that like with their like photo books or like season greetings and stuff. That's what I do for Gravity. So the next group that I stan is Drippin'. I do have their first and second mini album. I still need to get free pass. As for my bias in Drippin', I don't have a bias. I also really don't know their names well, so yeah, I know that makes so much sense. Don't come at me for not knowing any of the members' names. So yeah, for photo cards, I just keep whoever I pull. So the next group I stan is Enhypen. My bias in Enhypen is Jae and Sungwoo. I do collect their PCs and I do collect their albums. So I collect albums and then PCs for Jae and Sungwoo. GOT7. They're not like disbanded. They're not like disbanded, but they're like active, but they're not. I don't know their situation, honestly. I don't know, but GOT7, my bias in GOT7 is Mark and Bam Bam. As for album wise, I don't collect any of their albums. I really do want a few of their albums, I really do, but I'm just like whenever I feel like getting them. But otherwise, I don't collect albums, I don't collect PCs for any of the members at all. Monsta X is another alt, so I have two alt groups, which are Ateez and Monsta X. Monsta X is my second alt group, and my bias is Haengwon and Joohan. It was Joohan at first, and then I don't know, Haengwon just I don't know. So I have two biases. They have a comeback coming up, and it's called, their new mini album's called, is it a mini album? I think it's a mini album. Maybe it's a full, I don't honestly. But like yesterday they dropped their like the first photos, like the first concept for the photos for No Limit, and then today they dropped the second one, and oh my god, they all look so good. And I think I might collect OT5 this era because Shownoon is not there since he is in the military. It just makes me miss Shownu so much. So yeah, and I still need to buy those albums, but otherwise I do collect Monsta X's albums, and I do just keep whoever I pull. Like I try collecting just for like Haengwon and Joohan, but I'm just like, honestly, I'm so content. Like literally for Monsta X, I'm so content with whoever I pull. Like I'm just happy with whoever I pull. And honestly, maybe eventually down the line I want to collect like OT6. I'm going to try to collect OT5 this era. The next group I stan is Nct Dream. I bought, okay, so with Nct Dream I gave Hot Sauce a listen, and I fell in love with that album a lot. And then I was listening to like their past albums, and like, oh, they're so good. It is so good. They are so good. My bias in Nct Dream is Runjun. Runjun is my bias. I was collecting their, like, just keeping whoever I pulled and trying to like trade for Runjun, but I've decided like I really don't want to collect any of their PCs. I just want their albums, like collect their albums. I'm a little behind. I do have Hot Sauce, and I do want to get the repackage album, and just from there, from Hot Sauce and the repackage and onward. This group, I recently have been getting into them, and I really want their albums. This group is P1 Harmony. I don't have a bias just yet. I'm still kind of like learning the members' names, but I don't have like a bias just yet. But I do want their albums. Another group that I stan is The Rose. Even though the Rose, like their situation, I don't know what's happening, but I like them. Honestly, I kind of like bias the whole group, but I love The Rose. I don't have any of the albums, but I would love to have their albums. So another group that I stan is Treasure. I have all their like first single albums and their full albums. I collect their albums, and then whoever I pull I keep for photo cards. Treasure bias is Idam, but I'm happy with whoever I pull, and I'll just keep. And then the next group is TXT. They really could be an alt group, but I don't know yet. I don't know. Same thing with Gravity. Like Gravity could be an alt group, but I'm not really sure. But my bias in TXT is Yeonjun. I collect all their albums. I have all their albums. And then for photo cards, I just keep whoever I pull. The next group is Victon. I love Victon's music so much. I do want to collect their older albums. They've just been so hard to find. My bias in Victon is a Sungwoo, so yeah. Are we surprised? No. And then the last group that I stan is WeI. WeI's music is so good. I collect all their albums, and for PCs I keep whoever I pull, and my bias in WeI is Youngha and Johan. Those two are my biases in WeI, and I'm pretty sure I said Youngha is a name wrong. I'm pretty sure I said it wrong, but yeah, those two are my biases in WeI. So that is pretty much every group that I stan, or I'm just like a fan, or just a casual listener of. I hope I did a decent job of explaining everything. I do want to get into more groups. If you have any groups you wanted me to go listen to, please recommend them down in the comments. I also think I forgot to mention for Ateez, I collect all their like merch stuff too, like keychains, key rings, and like photo books and stuff like that. Just like with Monsta X, I collect their photo books, and then Gravity, I collect their photo books, and then TXT, I collect their photo books too. Those are like the 4 groups that I collect photo books for. And then Ateez is literally the only group that I buy like merch stuff, like key rings and stuff. I don't know if I can't remember if I said that, but I'm gonna say that now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got to know me just a little bit when it comes to like K-pop and like the groups that I stan / listen to currently. Hopefully when I do a updated one of this, hopefully by then I can like maybe have more groups that I listen to and stan. Maybe more girl groups. I don't know about that. I make no promises for that for girl groups. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a like and go subscribe to stay updated with me for future videos if you want to. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.